Howdy! We are going to be covering topic B in this video, which is all about expressions. And expressions are basically an equation, but without the equal sign and the answer that comes afterwards. For example, 7 plus 2 equals 9. That's an equation. That's an expression. So we're going to be looking at these kinds of problems where it's written out in words and we're going to have the kids translate it into numbers. So for example, the sum of 7 and 10 doubled. We're going to chunk this out. The first chunk is the sum of 7 and 10, and then doubled. We're going to be doubling this whole amount. So we're going to put parentheses around the 7 plus 10, and then times 2. And because of the commutative property, we're also going to know that this will be just as perfectly an acceptable answer as the other one. So, moving on. Half of the quotient of 16 and 4. Well, we know that we're going to be taking half of the quotient of 16 and 4. 16 and 4 is going to be divided because of this clue word right here. So 16 divided by 4, and then the whole thing is going to be halved. I can either write it this way, divided by 2, or I could set this whole thing over a fraction line and write the 2 underneath. Next, the kids are also going to have to know how to take the numbers and go from there and translate it into words. So this might be the sum of two different amounts. And the first amount we could write as 23s. And we could say 5 3s. Done. Once they get this, we're going to be moving on to comparing expressions. So for example, compare and find the values of 20 times the sum of 20 and 5, and 20 plus 5, 12 times. So instead of actually solving each of these sides, figuring out the answer to each of them, we want kids to start recognizing the patterns and the similarities between the two sides and then going from there. So here it's pretty obvious that the 20 plus 5, each side has that in common. And this side is being multiplied by 24, while this side is being multiplied by 12. And since 24 is higher than 12, we know that this side has the higher value. Therefore, we're going to be using this symbol to show that. Going down to this next problem, 18 times 27 compared to 20 27s minus 127. Well, we know that we have 27 18 times here. Here we have 27 20 times minus 127. So 20 minus 1 is going to be 19, and I'm multiplying that by 27. If I can translate this to that, and then compare it to this side, I'll know that 19 is a higher value than 18, therefore I'm multiplying 27 one more time on this side. So I'll be using this symbol to show that this one has a higher value. After that, we're going to be evaluating expressions, which simply means we're going to be finding out the value of it. So 45 plus 55 times 23. Everything that happens inside parentheses is done first. So 45 plus 55, that's going to be, that can be done in a couple different ways. And by this time, kids will be pretty proficient at decomposing numbers. And they'll be able to sort that out in their minds in a number of different ways. They could do it this way. And they'll know that 40 plus 50 is equal to 90, 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, add them all up, this side is equal to 100, times 23. And because we know how numbers move on the place value chart, they'll be able to move it to the left 2 times, and end up with a value of 2,300.